The weight of his arms felt less like an embrace and more like a cage. Jeremy pressed his lips to my temple, his breath warm against my skin. Happy anniversary, Ellie, he whispered, his voice the same smooth baritone that had convinced me he was my forever. He fastened the clasp of the diamond necklace, its cold weight settling against my collarbone. A gift, another perfect gift from my perfect husband. From the outside, we were the dream, the old money heiress and the brilliant scholarship boy who'd conquered the world and her heart. But lately, in the quiet moments when his gaze lingered a second too long, I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the autumn air. I love it, Ja, I murmured, forcing a smile as I met his eyes in the mirror. His reflection watched me, his expression unreadable, and in that moment, the love story I had told myself for 5 years felt like the most dangerous lie of all. The funeral was a symphony of tasteful grief, black suits, quiet sobs, and the cloying scent of lilies filled the cavernous hall of the Gable family estate. Sophia, my best friend since we were children trading secrets in boarding school dorms, was gone. A tragic hiking accident, the papers said, a slip on a treacherous trail, a fall into a ravine. Her husband, Gavin Holloway, stood beside Sophia's parents, the very picture of the shattered widower. His face was pale, his eyes red-rimmed, accepting condolences with a stoic, broken grace. My own husband, Jeremy, had his arm wrapped securely around my shoulders, a solid anchor in my sea of sorrow. I can't believe she's gone, I whispered, the words catching in my throat. I know, Ellie, I know, Jeremy murmured, his grip tightening. Gavin is devastated. We have to be strong for him. I watched Gavin as he knelt before Sophia's sobbing mother, promising to be the son they had never had, to manage the family empire in Sophia's name. The guests wept, my heart shattered, but a tiny, cold splinter of doubt lodged itself deep within me, a thought so monstrous I barely dared to acknowledge it, because I remembered the last conversation I had with Sophia just a week ago, her voice on the phone tight with a fear she tried to disguise as a joke. Sometimes, Ellie, she'd said, I feel like I'm living with a stranger, a very, very charming stranger who is planning something terrible. The email arrived 3 days after the funeral, appearing in my inbox with a subject line that made my blood run cold. If you're reading this, I'm dead. It was from Sophia. My fingers trembled as I clicked it open, my heart hammering against my ribs. It was a scheduled email, a digital ghost reaching out from the grave. The text was short, terrifyingly precise. Asterisk Ellie, asterisk if you're reading this, then I'm dead. And if I'm dead, my death was no accident. It happened on one of these 3 dates, September 30th, 2023, October 8th, 2023, October 11th, 2023. If it was, my parents might be in danger too, maybe even dead with me. If it was, I might have died alone. If it was, I died first, and you're next. Asterisk I need you to save yourself. You have to go to my house, find the pen my father gave me for graduation. I don't know if Gavin will have hidden it, but you have to find it. Please, Ellie, find the pen. Asterisk I stared at the screen, the words blurring through my tears. September 30th, that was the date of her accident. Option 1, her parents could be in danger. A knock on my study door made me jump, and I slammed my laptop shut. Ellie? Jeremy's voice was soft, laced with concern. Are you okay in there? You've been quiet for a while. I took a shaky breath, wiping my eyes. I'm fine, just going through old photos of Soph. He opened the door, his face a mask of loving sympathy. Come on, he said, holding out a hand. Let's get you out of here. Maybe we can go see your parents. Make sure they're holding up. My parents or hers? The email's warning screamed in my mind, but I looked at my husband, the man who had held me while I cried, and told myself I was being paranoid. Grief was making me crazy. It had to be. I went to the police the next morning. I sat in a sterile interview room across from a tired-looking detective named Miles Corbin. I showed him a printout of the email. He read it, his expression impassive, and slid it back across the table. Ms. Marsh, he said, his voice gravelly, I understand you're grieving. Your friend's death was a tragedy. It wasn't a tragedy, I insisted, my voice rising. It was murder. This email proves it. It proves your friend was scared. He corrected gently. It proves she had a flare. For the dramatic, we have a dozen eyewitnesses from the hiking trail. They saw her running on the suspension bridge, posing for a photo. They heard the wood splinter. Her husband, Mr. Holloway, was a wreck. He tried to go down after her. He was acting. Detective Corbin sighed, leaning back in his chair. Look, we'll keep it on file. If any new evidence comes to light, we'll look into it. In the meantime, maybe you should consider talking to a grief counselor. I walked out of the station feeling defeated and furious. No one believed me. I was the hysterical, grieving friend. When I got to my car, my phone buzzed. Another scheduled email from Sophia. My hand shook as I opened it. Asterisk Ellie, if Jeremy is with you, do not let him know what I'm about to tell you. For the next month, cancel all of your road trips, especially any on the Pacific Coast Highway, and when you get your car serviced, only go to the garage your dad has used for years, the one that knows you. Asterisk, and please, tell my parents to move back to their old house in Nantucket as soon as possible. Asterisk, the message was cryptic, disjointed. As I was reading, the passenger door opened and Jeremy slid in, making me gasp. Hey, he said, smiling. I got worried when you didn't answer your phone. Thought I'd come find you. Who are you texting? Just an old college friend. I lied, my heart pounding. She sent her condolences. He nodded, his smile never wavering. He started the car and pulled out into traffic. As we waited at a red light, he turned to me, his expression suddenly bright. I was thinking, he said, maybe we should get away for a few days, just us. We could drive the Pacific Coast Highway, clear our heads. What do you say? The world tilted on its axis. The air in the car felt thick, unbreathable. I looked at my husband's smiling face, the face I had loved for 5 years, and for the first time I saw a stranger. A few days later, the news broke. Megan Forrester, another heiress from our social circle, had died in a car crash. She had been on a solo road trip, driving the Pacific Coast Highway. Her car had gone off a cliff on a sharp turn, a tragic accident, the report said. I was sitting in my living room, staring at the news report on my tablet, when my phone chimed. A third email from Sophia. I opened it, a sense of dread coiling in my stomach. Asterisk, if you are seeing this email, it means you didn't die in that car crash. It means Megan Forrester did. Asterisk, my blood turned to ice. Sophia hadn't just predicted her own death, she had predicted someone else's. Before I could even process the horror, a text message came through. It was from Detective Corbin. Asterisk, Ms. Marsh, we need you to come to the station. Megan Forrester's younger sister, Kimberly, just came in. She received a scheduled email from Megan. The coffee at the station was bitter and burnt. Kimberly Forrester was a younger, rawer version of her sister. Her eyes were puffy from crying, but her jaw was set with a defiant anger. She slid her phone across the table to Detective Corbin and me. The email from Megan was formatted almost exactly like Sophia's. 3 possible dates of death, 3 different consequences senses. The date she had died was marked with a terrifying addendum. If I die on this date, on a road trip, the next one they'll come for is my daughter. Give her to my ex-husband. Do not let my new husband, Marcus, anywhere near her. And then, the final line, asterisk, he thinks I don't know about the USB drive. It's hidden in my old law school textbook on my bookshelf, the one on torts. He never looks there. He thinks law is boring. Asterisk. Detective Corbin looked from the phone to me, his earlier skepticism finally cracking. 2 women, he murmured, 2 heiresses, 2 accidents, 2 posthumous emails. It's the husbands, I said, my voice barely a whisper. It has to be. A theory is not evidence. Ms. Marsh, he said, but his tone had changed. He was listening now. We'll get a warrant to search the Forrester residence for that textbook. In the meantime, both of you need to be extremely careful. Don't go anywhere alone. As Kimberly and I left the station, a new, terrifying resolve hardened within me. Sophia had told me to find a pen. Megan had told her sister to find a USB drive. They were fighting back from the grave, and I was the only one left to finish it. That night, I told Jeremy I was staying at my parents' house, that I needed some space. He was the perfect, understanding husband. Of course, Ellie, take all the time you need. Just be safe. His words felt like a veiled threat. Instead of going to my parents', I drove to Sophia's house. I still had a key from years of friendship. The house was dark, silent. Gavin was supposedly at a grief retreat in Sedona. I let myself in, my footsteps echoing in the grand foyer. Her bedroom was just as she had left it, a ghost of her presence in the scent of her perfume lingering in the air. Her father's graduation gift, a pen. It had to be somewhere obvious, somewhere she saw every day. I went to her vanity, my hands shaking as I pulled open the drawers, lipsticks, jewelry, old letters, and there, in the back of the top drawer, nestled in a velvet box, was a pen. It wasn't just any pen, it was a sleek, heavy Mont Blanc, clearly expensive. I twisted the barrel, it didn't open. I clicked the top, a tiny, almost invisible blue light blinked once, then vanished. It wasn't a pen, it was a digital voice recorder. My heart leaped. This was it. This was the proof I needed. I clutched it in my hand, a surge of triumphant adrenaline washing over me, and then I heard it, the sound of a key turning in the front door lock. Gavin was home. Panic seized me, cold and sharp. I scrambled into the massive walk-in closet.